In the toughest jails in America, black prisoners are listening to a new voice of authority.
Praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, owner of the
Thousands of hardened criminals are turning to Allah.
Here alone we seek for help. Show us the straight path.
All over the country, black Americans are converting to Islam, now the fastest growing religion in the United States.
There's only one truth. There's no God but Allah. If a man is not serving Allah, he's serving Shaitan. There's no other way but Islam, period. And all the knowledge in the world comes from this book.
In the streets of America's cities, men like Rousan Tamir are spreading the word of the Quran.
It's the invitation to learn something about the religion of Islam from our holy book, the Quran.
It's a phenomenon that has gone largely unnoticed and unreported. Islam could become the most important black movement in America since Martin Luther King fought for civil rights in the 60s.
If the masses of the African American public was to take on this religion, the revolution would have been fought and won.
It's for all human beings. Because when you think about all human beings,
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
In ghettos which the civil rights movement passed by, a homegrown Islam is gaining converts.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah.
Islam is a new call to arms in the war against drugs, alcohol and crime.
Islam is a certain way of life that it provides you with a blueprint for living.
Ahmed Abdurrahman was a member of the militant Black Panther Party in 1971 when he was convicted of murder. He served 21 years in jail.
If a large percentage of our community just did the simple thing of not using any drugs and any intoxicants, any alcohol, it would in itself bring about a change in their lives. And in many African Americans who become Muslims, just that rule in itself changes their lives positively.
In the inner cities, more black men go to jail than to college. Where 2 out of 3 children grow up without fathers, street gangs are the only family for many young blacks.
How you doing, brother? You all right? Yes, sir.
Ahmed was still on parole when he took us into the ghettos of Detroit. He too was once a member of a drug gang.
Very much the way animals mark their turf. You know, gangs put signs out to tell other gangs that this is their area, to establish that this is their turf. Through the glamorization of it by gangster rap, is spreading throughout the country where young people see gangs as being, these kind of gangs as being one of the main ways to be hip or cool. Gang turf is not just based upon pride that you're a member of another gang, you don't come in my neighborhood. It's based upon money. We alone sell drugs in this neighborhood, and if you sell drugs in our neighborhood, we'll kill you. So quite a few of the killings that take place and the crimes center around the drug trafficking and the fighting among gangs for the control of the drug traffic. Brother, brother, can't you see? Brother, brother, can't you see? What a life has done for me. What a life has done for me. Oh, 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 oh.
In some jails, 1 in 3 black inmates has converted to Islam. Ahmed became a Muslim after 5 years in jail.
I could not deal with the stress that I was under by myself. Islam provides a system of brotherhood, of others who are striving with you to bear what you're facing and to develop as human beings, even though they're in an inhumane situation.
How many of you have been here more than once? How many of you have been here more than 5 times? 5 million people in the United States are under the supervision of the criminal justice system. If it continues to increase, this number will soon rival the 6 million enrolled in the nation's higher education system. Frightening. Across the country,
some of these men will return to the gangs after their release, but they all take Islam with them. It seems to offer hope of rebuilding the social and family ruins in the ghettos.
I look in your faces, man, and it saddens me. Because every time I look at you, I see a fatherless child. How many of you have children? If you're in here, who's guiding your babies? You have become Satan's, the Shaitan's instrument to take your children and fill up the prisons with.
Young prisoners claim Islam will change their lives.
A lot of the youngsters at my age, we're not really addicted to drugs. We're addicted to the street life and the way of life, chasing a dream, chasing a false dream that we have been brought up and saw. The drug dealers, the big cars, the fancy cars, you know, the pimps and the players and the hustlers. We have all chased them dreams, you know. And like myself, I'm not chasing that dream no more. I'm dealing with reality today. I cannot be a pimp, player, hustler, none of that. I'm just a man, you know.
In a district of Chicago known as Terror Town, the Imam or priest, Rami Mohammed, leads Friday prayers. Rami spent 5 years as a U.S. Marine. He taught himself Arabic and converted to Islam while working as a prison guard.
If thou hast willed our defeat, thou will be worshipped no more.
Amin was once charged with a double murder. He's one of several former gang members who attend the mosque.
Allah subhanahu will suffice you. Nashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. Lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu yuhyi wa yumeet.
Every day Amin joins Rami on patrol. Their mission to drive out the shops that sell alcohol and the gangs that sell drugs.
Not much, man. I ain't seen you in a while, man.
Mike is a gang member who was paralyzed when gunned down by a rival. Rami suspects he still deals in drugs and is trying to persuade him to become a Muslim.
You say yourself, you'd be willing to come wholeheartedly and even with anyone that you know to something that's positive. And we're saying how this would actually aid the cause of Islam and we could actually really raise up a strong Islamic nation.
If we had more jobs up in here, then, you know what I'm saying, there wouldn't be no reason to sell drugs. Like her, she just graduating from high school. She ain't gonna get no good job, you know what I'm saying? Then she gonna, you know what I'm saying, probably look at the streets again.
Many of the stores selling alcohol in these ghettos are owned by Arab immigrants, most of whom are Muslim. They are one of Rami's key targets.
You see here, one of the major problems in America stopping the Islamic movement is many of the Arabs who come from many parts of the world are coming to America, abandoning Islam, and are selling pork, alcohol, fornicating with women, and wherever you find a liquor store, you'll find a major drug area. They feel that they are beyond the law, but soon they will see.
808.
Rami believes in direct action.
Assalamu alaikum ittibal huda. Yaqi, why do you still sell the wine, the pork, when you know Allah forbids it? What's your excuse? Why do you all constantly come to the black community and exploit us? Sell the people this poison, take the blood, the heart, and the soul from them. Your services will be terminated one day, and you have to deal with Allah on Qiyamah. Every black person you sell your poison to is a potential Muslim, someone to uplift and raise up the people. Everyone that you sell your pork to is a potential Muslim. 3,500 Arab-owned liquor stores in the black community. You take the money out of our community and you take it is a drug. It is legal. It is a drug. You move your liquor store to jail. Say, but what about the Arabs? You don't see.
With our people, you have to speak the language in which they can understand. The language of a 38 is a 45. You have to be real. You have to be so real and so raw that the meat will fall off the bone.
You talking about, so that makes it all right for you to disobey Allah and to come in the black community and sell this poison. You're not feeding it to your own mother, your brothers, your sisters, or any Arabs. You come in my community, the black community. These my people. These my people. The blood in their veins is mine. You worse than swine. You worse than pigs. You got lottery here, pork here. Your product's not good. You follow people around, fornicating with the women, with our women, sucking every blood, every remnant of life out of my community. You're not going to be allowed to continue it. The law of Islam is over America. It is over any government. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. تبع شوف متى أنت تبع خنزير وخمر and you say Allah.
Yeah.
You think it's a game?
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game to you to exploit black people. It's a game to you to sell them pork and wine and to say you're Muslim, to rely on the relationship of Islam to protect your butt. You cannot pay the gangs out here enough money to protect your store.
Muslim immigrants in America are often traders who've settled in their own well-to-do suburbs. Rami's anger over the sale of alcohol is fueled by a wider resentment that immigrants are exploiting urban blacks who own few businesses themselves.
We'll close you up. Your mouth, your heart, your lungs. It's coming. It is coming. The Deen of Islam gonna raise his head. And it's gonna raise. Yeah, see what he said. Show it to his mother back in Philistine or wherever he at. Come to my community, selling my people this. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. But you have no shame, for you don't fear Allah. And Allah is gonna deal with you in this life and in hereafter. And His servants gonna deal with you in this life. You can count on it. The Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gonna raise his head and gonna hit the snake wherever he see it. Get ready for it. You can see me right now.
The liquor stores and the drug dealers are on the east side of Chicago's Yates and 75th Street. On the other side, Rami and Amin have laid down the law of Allah. Drugs aren't sold here, and there are no shops selling alcohol. But the victims of his tirade are cynical.
I wouldn't doubt if you drink or not. Maybe there's a bar behind his back. Oh no, believe me.
To establish peace down here, if some of our brothers have to be killed, if some of our brothers have to be imprisoned, we are prepared to pay that price for the overall good. We would go to war and we would not fear no consequences. We would only fear Allah only. Allah says, فَلَا تَخْشَ النَّاسِ فَخْشَوْنِي. Don't fear the mankind, but fear me.
Christianity remains the dominant faith in the African American community.
It is a religion that has influences in it that promote white superiority. So if an African American accepts Christianity as it is now, they're accepting black inferiority. So it can't work. It can't work.
Hanif attends the Muslim Center, formerly an abandoned bank. There are more and more new mosques in Detroit, social centers as well as places of worship.
Islam historically has been accepted by the dispossessed very readily.
Orthodox Islam now has 2 million African American followers.
We're here today getting our physical food. We have to eat in order to
While most whites associate Islam with terrorist bomb plots, W.D. Muhammad's followers have been providing social services to the ghettos. They say they are restoring self-respect to the downtrodden. Blacks have rarely felt included in the melting pot of America. They've won civil rights, but watched their communities decay.
Even if we wanted to be part of a melting pot, it just does not exist in America. And we are going to be what we are and who we are for ourselves and among ourselves. And people in white America or any other part of America will have to accept us on those terms, on our terms.
They picked me up when I was down. They picked me up when I was down. They helped me turn my life around. They helped me turn my life around.
We've been economic slaves. We've been mental slaves. When I discovered Islam, I found out that by submitting to Allah, that I no longer cared about the standards of America. I only cared about the standards that Allah said.
They took my dope and gave me hope. They took my dope and gave me hope. Now I'm learning how to cope. Now I'm learning how to cope. They took my dope and gave me hope. They took my dope and gave me hope. Now I'm learning how to cope. Now I'm learning how to cope.
Black Muslims share Islam with millions of people around the world, far beyond the ghetto. It gives them a new identity, one which breaks the chains of their past.